Well, good morning, good morning, and or good afternoon or good evening, depending on the time that you are viewing this broadcast. And my name is Oliver Blue. I will be your temporary guide through Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 20. And we take but another step uh, up the ladder in which the ego let us down. And hopefully, you guys and girls have been vigilant about the workbook lesson, and I can only speak for myself. There has been a tremendous shift um, in my awareness, tremendous shift in my experience, a tremendous shift in my practice and application of the ideas that the course has shown in these first 20 lessons. This is, I would say, my fourth or fifth time going through the entire lessons, and it's like a new experience because I'm not the same person I was, not the same person today, right now, that I was maybe it's been 2 years ago, the last time I took this journey. And so it's like a fresh light, fresh love, and so I want us to approach each lesson as with openness and a little willingness. I mean, the course says it only takes a little willingness to wake up and recognize the real versus that which is not real. Love versus fear. Uh, Light versus darkness. I'm excited and just can't wait to get in this lesson because this is kind of we finally got to a point to where um, there's a solution to perceiving and a solution to thinking that this lesson is offering us. And so it's almost like, we've been rehearsing the reality of really not being disciplined about the way we see and the way we perceive, because we found out that seeing in the past, seeing through our past and the anticipated future is not really seeing. We're not really seeing in the present moment. And so we have trained ourselves that way. I mean, many years of training to think and to perceive in that manner, which the course has shown us is not the most effective way. And it affects how we feel, the results that we get, our relationships. It affects everything. And so let's get into the workbook lesson. It says, "I am." I love any sentence that starts with "I am," because I am, again, is an indication that we're to be brought to this present moment, because that's what I am represents. It represents the presence. It represents love. It represents humanity. Okay? So it says, "I am determined to see." I am determined to see. Wow, that's a bold statement. Determination has a connotation with it as we're burning all the bridges behind us. We're not going back. I am determined to get to the other side. Why? Because there's something on the other side that I want, and that is sight, vision, love, awareness, true perception. I am determined to see. Wow. It says, we have been quite casual. It says we have been quite casual about our practice periods thus far. Okay, quite casual. It says there has been virtually no attempt to direct the time for undertaking them. Minimal effort has been required, and not even active cooperation and interest have been asked. So it's talking about the previous 19 workbook lessons. It has not really demanded any discipline from us. It says 3 or 4 lessons. It's been pretty much, you do them at your own leisure without any structure. So it says that there has been virtually no attempt to direct the time undertaking the previous lessons. It says this approach has been intentional and very carefully planned. We have not lost sight of the crucial importance of the reversal of your thinking, because that's been the main focus here, the reversal of our thinking. The salvation of the world meaning false perception. The salvation of false perception depends on it. It depends on what? It depends on the reversal of our thinking. And that's why we're going through this whole year of mind training, mind reversal, so that we can align our thinking, because we've already determined that it is in our thinking that is the cause of everything. It's like that's where we experience life, based on not the fact that we think, but how we think. And these lessons, the process of teaching us how we should think in alignment to our best interest. It says the salvation of the world depends on it. It depends on us reversing the way we think. It says, yet you will not see. Wow. It says you will not see, meaning you will not perceive, if you regard yourself as being coerced, and if you give in to resentment and opposition. So it's been a strategy of the coach not to coerce us, to have a lot of structure in how we do the exercise, because it knows that resistance and opposition, when it's high, there's low learning. When resistance and opposition is high, there's very low learning. And so the approach from the very beginning was to casually ask us to do the workbook lessons, 3 or 4. If you get any discomfort, back off. That wasn't as important as it was in attempting the idea without any exception. So there's a shift here in our coach here, who's coaching us through this process. When I say I coach, I'm a temporary coach, a temporary guide. But there is at your very nature, you have your own internal coach, your own internal guide, which is a voice for God. Depending on your upbringing, you may have been conditioned to say that to understand that there are terms like the Spirit of God or the Holy Spirit, or different labels have been given to the fact that we all have an internal teacher guiding us, angels, whatever the deal. But the whole reality is there's only one. Those are all symbols. The reality is you are the Holy Spirit. You are that which God extended. And it's not anything different than himself. God wouldn't leave your salvation or my salvation up to anything but himself. So if there's anything intrinsic, it is himself. Okay. So it says, this is our first attempt to introduce structure. This is the first, lesson 20 is the first time that our little internal guide is introducing some structure to our practices. It says, do not misconstrue our attempt to introduce structure as an effort to exert force or pressure. You'll find out as you get more comfortable with the Course in Miracles that it is not a book of judgment. It's not a thought system of judgment. It's not a path of judgment. It doesn't coerce. It doesn't force. It's a very gentle vibration. And I'm sure you've kind of sensed that from the first 19 lessons, that it's not a judgmental approach to my reversal, but it's very gentle, very kind, okay? But it says, because we're going to introduce some structure today, don't misconstrue that as we're putting pressure on you. That's not conducive learning environment. It says you want salvation. You want salvation. Salvation meaning differently from our upbringing that the Course refers to. Salvation is not salvation from hell or salvation from death. But salvation basically is you want to be released from the idea of separation. You want to be released from this false perception, this idea of yourself that is not correct. You want to be released from incorrect thinking. That's what salvation is. It says you want salvation. You want to be happy. So it's equating salvation with happiness. It says you want to be happy. You want peace. There's another one. It's equating salvation with peace. It says you do not have them. Now, ultimately it's saying you do not have the experience of them, because we know that happiness and peace and joy is a part of our essential nature. So they are within our essential nature. But this course is taught at the level of the mind. The mind that is resistant, the mind that is split, the mind that believes that it's separated. He said, you don't have it. You want it, but you don't have it. It says, you don't have them now because your mind is totally undisciplined. Your mind is totally undisciplined. And you cannot distinguish between joy and sorrow pleasure and pain, love and fear. Do I accept that as basically the truth? From my split mind perspective, from my resistance mind perspective, yes. There's a part of me seemingly that do not want to accept truth. It says, you are now learning how to tell them apart. Tell what apart? The difference between joy and sorrow, love and peace, love and fear, pleasure and pain. It says you're learning how to tell them apart, and great indeed will be your reward. When we're finally discipline our mind to know the difference between the real and the unreal, it says great indeed will be our reward. We will begin to have a continuous experience of sustained peace and joy and love and happiness in our life. Because our mind is not at war against our body. It's not at war against what we believe to be true. It says your decision to see is all that vision requires. Just a decision, quality decision to see. I am determined to see. That decision in and of itself is all that is required for us to begin to see, begin to embrace, begin to be one with true perception, Christ consciousness, pure thoughts according to real thinking, kingdom thinking. It says what you want is yours. What you desire is yours. The reason you desire it is because it's already yours. Do not mistake the little effort that is asked of you for an indication that our goal is of little worth. Just because there had not been any great demands on us, these lessons, that's not an indication that our reward is small. No. It says, or of little value, it says, can the salvation of the world be a trivial purpose? Can correct perception, true perception, Christ's vision, be a trivial purpose? It's a rhetorical question. It says, and can the world be saved if you are not? Can true perception be saved if you're not? Can false perception be saved if you don't show up as true perception? They will remain in a state of falsity. It says God has one Son, and He is the resurrection and He is the life. God has one Son. Remember we said all things are one thing. Correct or true perception sees one being, even though we are 780 beings on the planet and appearing to be in individuated bodies. That's what it appears to be. But in reality, remember, bodies are not the sons of God. Bodies is just, like we said earlier, a communication device that we all have that is neutral. It is required. It's required to be here to have a body. But the body is not identification. It says God has one son. So in true perception, there's only one of us. In true perception, there's only one of us. So that's what it means. When you give to your brother, you're giving to yourself. Remember, bodies can't join. Only what minds can join, and we all share the same mind. That's why we share the same thoughts. We have the potential of sharing the thing. We do share the same thoughts, but we can make individual decisions about what we're going to do with those thoughts, whether we keep them as our own or whether we realize that they are not our own thoughts and we replace them with true perception, with the thoughts of God. I'm just kind of sitting in there. It says, God has one son, and he is the resurrection and the life. His will is done because all power is given to the Son in heaven and earth. All power is given to you in heaven and earth. In your determination to see, is vision given you. It comes through a determination. That means there takes a willingness on our part to be determined to see. That's our part. Just a desire, just a determination. And then something happens. The sight that is already within us begins to unfold. So we begin to see things as they are in the present, not through our past, our preoccupation with the past, and not with our anticipation of the future. It says the exercises for today consist of reminding yourself throughout the day that you want to see. So the exercises today are going to be a little different. We're not going to search our minds. We're not going to search our outward environment to use objects or thoughts as a focal point. But what we're going to do today is we're going to take the idea for today, I am determined to see, and we're going to remind ourselves throughout the day that we can see. How are we going to do that? Today's idea also tacitly implies that recognition that you do not see that. If I'm determined to see, that means that my current seeing doesn't exist. That currently I do not see in light, in truth, in awareness. It says, therefore, as you repeat the idea, I am determined to see, I'm going to repeat it, you are stating that you are determined to change your present state for a better one. Making an exchange. We're exchanging our old habitual conditioning, way of thinking, trading that in for a better one. Like when you trade your old car and you get it's a better one. Well, what's real is so much better than what's not real. Love is so much better than fear. Joy is so much better than being depressed. It says, therefore, you, as you repeat the idea, you are stating that you are determined to change your present state for a better one, and one that you really want. So if during any point that you feel that you're ready to make that exchange, you can just do it at any time. Not only are you determined to see, you will see. It is your determination, it's your desire, your little willingness that vision opens up to you. It says, repeat today's idea slowly and positively, at least twice an hour. So it's giving us some structure. Today, we want to repeat this idea twice an hour, preferably on every half hour. We want to repeat the idea. I am determined to see. Okay? That takes a little more discipline. That's what it means by the prior 19 lessons. Didn't really give us no structure. It just allowed us to take the idea and do the exercise at whatever point we want to. But now it's introducing some structure. And don't construe that as anything other than part of the process of disciplining our minds to get it to embrace and to think along the lines of what is true, what is real. So it says attempted to do every half hour. So today, twice a day, I'm determined to see. When the clock's straight up, when the clock goes down, half hour, I'm determined to see. You set your alarm on your phone if you want to do that and remind yourself. Nothing wrong with that. It says, do not be distressed if you forget to do so. So if you forget one half hour today, don't be distressed about it, okay? It says, but make a real effort to remember. The extra repetitions, so it's introducing more repetitions, other than 3 or 4 times a day. Now it's saying, let's put some structure. Every half hour, we want to repeat the idea for the day. I am determined to see. It says, do not distress if you forget. It says the extra repetitions should be applied to any situation. Person or event that upsets you. So if anytime during the day you get upset, just apply the idea. I'm determined to see. It says you can see them differently. We can see differently. We can think differently. It says, and you will. Because of your determination, it says you will. No man is determined to see and deny this request. It says you will see differently. It says what you desire, you will see. What we ultimately desire, we will see. That's why we always get the what? Cause and effect, the results of our cause. Always get it. Your life that you have now, you got it because that's what you saw. But we're learning that we can see differently, we can think differently. It says such is the real law of cause and effect as it operates in the world. So it said that true cause and effect works this way. This is the way it works. It says, you will get what you see. It says you can see them differently and you will. What you desire, you will see. What you desire, you will see. You will get the desires of your heart. And what we want to do is make sure that the desires of our heart are in alignment with what is real and what we really want. What you desire, you will see. Such is the real law of cause and effect as it operates in the world. It doesn't operate in heaven. It operates in heaven like that. This is it operates here. It's the way the law operates in the world. When the world is again false perception. Great lesson. I'm determined to see. Set your clock or whatever you need to do every half hour. I'm determined to see. Of course, if you sleep, you can't verbalize that. But your mind is aware that it's a half hour in the hour. It's in alignment with the mind. What is the mind that resists? Bring him on gently. That's today's lesson 20. I love this lesson. I love this whole process we're going through. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I look forward to tomorrow's lesson. Have a great day. Bye-bye.